Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is TimProVision. Today, everyone, we have a little bit of a different style video for you. We're doing a Q&A with you guys, the community. I posted some questions in the community Discord, the YouTube community page, and my Twitter, asking you guys to submit some questions for a video. And here we are, we're doing it right now. If you like this type of video, hit that like button, and if you want to support me, hit that like button. It means a lot to me. And drop a comment down below if you have any more questions, and I will try to answer them down there. Appreciate the support over the past few weeks, and let's jump into it right now. The first question is from the community Discord page, and that comes from Ice. What is your favorite gun in Apex? I would say my favorite gun at the moment, honestly, is probably the Flatline. For some reason, the Flatline just really gels with me. It's great at hip firing at close range, and it's really good at medium ranges. It's kind of like an SMG and AR in one for me. It is pretty nice. I do really like the Hemlock, of course, but the Hemlock is honestly still kind of broken, so I feel like that is kind of like a cop-out cheap answer. So if I have to pick a gun that maybe not too many other people like picking up, it's the Flatline for me. The next question comes from Lolicon. What are some attachments items you mostly, if not always, avoid, and why? There's a couple things that come in mind for me. One is the 2 to 4 times optic and the sniper optics. I kind of avoid them. I really don't like the sniper optics for some reason. I really try to stick to a 3 times or a 2 times. Not really even the 3 times, mostly just the 2 times and 1 times optics. For me, I almost always want to be able to use all my guns in close range. And if I have a sniper scope on that gun, it just doesn't really gel for me. Something that I used to do a lot, and I don't do it too often anymore, but I used to take a sniper optic and a 2 times, so I could swap those optics depending on the scenario. Don't really do that anymore, probably because I feel like Apex is pretty aggressive right now. There's a lot of people always trying to be in your face, especially in my lobbies. Maybe you guys are finding this to be similar. Honestly, pretty much everything I pretty much always take. I don't mind picking it up, even like P2020 or Mozambique with hammer points. I honestly don't mind running those. I feel like the Mozambique with hammer points, honestly, is kind of good. You can hit 100 on someone with hammer points if they don't have shields. I mean, you can one-tap someone basically. Seems pretty good to me. The only gun in the game that I don't like taking is the EVA 8 shotgun. I just feel like the EVA 8 is too weak for me, doesn't do enough damage, so I try to avoid this for the most part. I actually would rather take the Mozambique over the EVA 8, which is kind of crazy for me to say, but, you know, that's how I feel. The next question comes from Cairo. In terms of being balanced, do you think Apex is where it needs to be? If not, what needs to be changed? And what is your favorite sight? My favorite sight is the 1 times HCOG or the 2 times HCOG. Not too fan of the 1 times ones with the round hollows. Not a big fan of those. But in terms of the game being balanced, honestly, I don't think the game is balanced, and I don't think the game ever will be balanced. But these games, especially games with different legends and different characters and a lot of different guns, these guns and weapons and characters are always going to go up and down. It's just kind of how it goes, depending on how the developers feel about the legends at the time. Nothing will ever be perfectly balanced. Something is always going to have a little bit of an edge out of something else. That being said, there are certain things that just need to get a little bit more of a buff. You know, Rampart, I think, needs a little bit of buff. I think Octane, honestly, also needs a little bit of a buff. There's a few legends like that really need to be brought up. But there's always going to be top-tier legends like Wraith and Horizon and Caustic and, you know, all these legends that are kind of crazy in the meta. But these legends are going to go up and down, and other legends will get their time to shine eventually. But in terms of it being balanced right now, I think it's pretty good. It's kind of crazy how you can pick up so many different weapons and be pretty effective with it. If I just go through this really quickly, you know, you got the R99, the Prowler, and the Volt, all solid SMGs. AR category, you got the Hemlock, you got the Flatline, you got the R301, you got the G7 Scout. All those are really solid weapons to use. You got the EVA 8, which I know I just said I didn't like, but it is solid early game. And then you do have the Mastiff, you got the Peacekeeper. You know, so it's really how the game is right now is pretty balanced. Honestly, Apex is one of the more balanced games, if you can believe it, compared to some of the other games like Call of Duty Warzone right now. If you're playing that, you know, the DMR is insane in that game. But Apex, for the most part, is pretty balanced. I don't think it'll ever be perfect, but I don't think any game is ever going to be perfect. It's just kind of how it is. Our next question comes from Bomb, and I apologize, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce your name. In Apex, what is the best way to use nades? When is it most appropriate to use them? A lot of new players don't understand how crucial nades can be, especially late game. Nades are absolutely vital for you to be carrying, especially if you can carry a couple of them. Nades are really used to get people out of cover so you can end up shooting them. There's no better scenario than a late game scenario where you might have a full stack of enemy teammates hanging out behind a rock or behind a building or, you know, that kind of thing. You throw the grenade to the left of the rock, they all have to push out to the right. You're already ADSing at them because they do have to move, so you're ready for it, and you can absolutely laser them that way. If they don't move, they're getting hit by the grenade, and then you can push up and finish them. So that's really, in my eyes, when you should be using the nades. A couple other specific examples, you know, arc stars are pretty good at people that aren't moving. If you can stick them, that's pretty great. You're almost always going to get that guy down. Thermites are also great for controlling doorways. You can burn the doors down or prevent people from pushing in. So those are two scenarios with grenades that I like to use. But the big thing for me, again, is to get people out from behind cover. That's what nades are really used for. Our next question comes from Kit Fisto, and he says, favorite legend skin and why? For me, honestly, I am really not a skin person. I don't really care much about how the character looks because I'm not really looking at my character. However, I will say the only skin I have ever bought in Apex, other than the Battle Pass skins, is the Phase Walker skin from this past Christmas. This was the kind of first skin I ever really liked buying, and I kind of bought it for the pack to see if I could get an heirloom. Rip to that, because that did not work out, of course. I should have known better. But I think I'm going to pick the Phase Walker. I like it a lot. Now we got a personal question from Incredible Paul. And Paul, I just want to say thank you so much. Paul and I know each other a little bit. I'll get you started. What's your favorite game from your youth and why? For me, I have a couple games in mind that really kind of opened my eyes to gaming. The first that I can really remember is Super Mario 3 back on the NES, I think it was. That game I kind of played a lot and it had some special memories for me. Second to this is Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64. I really love that game quite a bit. And finally, the big game that got me into shooters is absolutely the one and only Halo 1 and 2. I played Halo 2 so much of that multiplayer online. It was revolutionary for its time. A lot of the systems that are in games today really kind of came from that team that made those games. You know, Bungie is a great developer. They made Halos and then they went on to work on Destiny. And I think, honestly, just Halo in general is really where I got my shooter skills from. I played so much Halo 2. It's kind of unbelievable. It's disgusting. But I really love that game, and it's always going to have a special place in my heart. Continuing with the community Discord questions, we got Durgala. I hope I pronounced that right. Would you say Crypto is more of a team-based support legend? That is, he does very well if he is the second or last teammate to come to a gunfight, seeing as he has no movement-based abilities, especially if things get hairy. I would say Crypto is definitely still more of a support legend, even though you can use him aggressively. You know, he isn't going to get away like a Wraith or a Horizon out of fights. You're going to be kind of stuck in the open. You can use that EMP, though, to kind of disable enemies for a little bit. So that's something to keep in mind. You can use that in your favor to get away from fights. But I do think Crypto still is first a support legend and then second an aggressive playmaking legend. Kind of hurts me to say that because I do like Crypto a lot. Just in case you guys don't know, you know, I was really down on Crypto for a long time until I made the Crypto guide on this channel, which a lot of you might have come from because that is the best performing video on the channel right now. I would have ranked Crypto probably 12th, 13th overall legend, you know, before I played him. So I am a little bit down on Crypto previously, but now I do love Crypto a lot. If you guys aren't trying Crypto, give him a try. He's great in the ranked meta right now. It's really crazy with the last circle, how things have adjusted the meta. It's crazy how a little thing like that little change to the circle timer does change things in the meta. But I do think Crypto is a support legend first. Next question comes from Dano, and Dano, you're killing me. Ashley already wants a cat. What are you doing to me? When are you getting another cat? Dano, I don't think I'm going to be getting another cat for a little while now. Our cat is Merlin, guys. If you're unfamiliar with that, I'll put a picture of him up on screen. He's absolutely adorable. I do kind of want another cat, but I'm going to wait till we can probably move in the future. If you guys want to see more about me and maybe my personal life, I do post some stuff on Instagram. That's where I am going to be getting into that more, especially when the summertime comes around. I'm going to be getting a little bit more into photography and that kind of thing. So give me a follow over there on the Instagram. The handle is right there on screen for you. And Dano, thank you for the question. Next question in our final community Discord question. If you guys again want to join the community Discord, link is down in the description below. Comes from Immoral. When did you start YouTube and why? I started YouTube videos kind of in June, really didn't take it seriously, I would say until July of 2020. So I've really only been doing this for about 5 to 6 months. Why did I start it? It's kind of a more complicated answer. I've always wanted to make a YouTube channel. I've always wanted to make videos. I made some videos way back in the day, like 2010 or so. I would start to make some videos occasionally on a different channel, different name. They are on the YouTube. If you can find them, good luck to you. But why did I start it? You know, it really just started by me playing games on Twitch. And I kind of realized and already knew before I even started streaming my games on Twitch is the days of you playing games on Twitch and getting followers and kind of blowing up, those are gone. There's so many Twitch streamers now, especially with COVID, everyone being home all the time. So that was kind of gone, and I knew YouTube was kind of a way where I could kind of express myself creatively. And the biggest thing for me is I really wanted to help other people improve their games. There's a lot of times where I would see constantly the same mistakes being made by my teammates, And I was kind of that person where people would come and ask me about questions about Apex Legends. So, if I'm already answering the questions, to my friends, I figured there's probably more people that maybe I could help out. So I figured, why don't we give it a try? And it's been paying off pretty good so far. It was scary there for the first 4 months or so. I had pretty much no viewership. So if you are looking to make a YouTube channel, be ready for a grind with no success, because it's kind of just an inevitable fact. But I kept learning, I kept grinding, and it was a good time. And that's really why I started the YouTube channel. This brings us into our first Twitter question. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, again, the handle is on screen for you. This comes from Feline Illusion. What to do to get more subscribers on YouTube and grow your YouTube channel? The biggest thing about YouTube is, of course, the content. If your content is good, it means people are going to watch it longer, and YouTube likes to suggest videos that are longer and people are watching more of. You need to get it so people are sticking around for you and your content. If they are not sticking around for you and your content, they're going to click the video, then they're going to click off. This sends to YouTube that you're not doing a good job, which means they're not going to suggest your content. That's kind of the biggest thing with YouTube. It's watch time. They want people to be on the platform as long as possible. There's a lot more that goes into people watching your YouTube channel and having it grow, but content is king. Make good videos and give people something they can learn from, give people something they'll be entertained from, make them laugh, that kind of thing. So that's a big thing with YouTube. People just want to have entertainment. People want to have a good time. People want to learn something. And the next question comes from Gixerkilla. And how about what suggestions, advice would you give to any streamers who are thinking about adding a YouTube channel to try and get their content out there? My biggest thing would be just to do it. Even if you're uploading little clips to your YouTube channel, try to make them, I would say, at least 5 minutes long. You don't want to kind of have a 45-second clip on your YouTube channel. That really won't do much. But if you can make a video that's 5 to 10 minutes long, and it's just maybe highlights from your Twitch stream, that's a solid start to get you on your way to editing. You should try to get your videos a little bit more higher quality, because YouTube will, again, suggest higher quality videos and people that are sticking around. So just start doing it. That's really the best advice I can give to you. If you want to go full-fledged into making videos, just plan to invest a lot of time. It does take a lot of time to make videos. And another thing, just to kind of point out, maybe it's obvious, but you're going to have to make sacrifices if you want to kind of full-fledged dive into maybe a Twitch or YouTube career. It takes a lot of time to perfect this. And if you're not spending as much time as, say, your competition, the other streamers, the other YouTube creators, you're probably going to fall out behind them. So you're going to have to make sacrifices between, playing games or making a video, between playing games, making a video, and spending time with your family. As terrible as that is to say, they're going to have to make sacrifices for you to pursue something, and you're going to have to make sacrifices for you to pursue your dreams. So, kind of just keep that in mind. Some people kind of forget that, how much time you put into it is how much you're going to get out of it. We are now moving on to the YouTube community questions. Guys, thank you so much. I put a post out there on the community page. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you'll get all those community posts. What are your favorite people to play with, such as Lobas? Also, can you do a tier list of synergies, such as Bloodhound has an S tier with synergy with Bangalore because of the smoke and aggro playstyle? One last thing, what do you think is the most fatal playstyle, not being aggressive or passive, that kind of thing? I'll start with the second part. What is the most fatal playstyle? It's kind of a mix of both, but if you want me to pick one, being too passive is never going to be a good thing. If you're passive, you're not going to learn how to play the game. You're not going to improve your aim. You're not going to improve your game sense. So playing passive is the definitive kind of most fatal way to play. But that being said, playing too aggressive, if you're playing so aggressive that you have really no thought for what's around you, you're also not going to learn that much. But, that is better than not having fights. So I'll start with that. And then I am planning on doing a tier list of synergies in the future. But for me, some legends that I absolutely love to play with, if I'm a Wraith, we'll say, I love playing with a Loba. Gosh, a Loba just makes the looting experience early game so much better. It just kind of makes that better. And even end game, if you're in a sweaty ranked game, Loba kind of just improves that. I know Loba's not that great for fights, but that's kind of how I feel about Loba. And maybe one other legend, I love Bloodhound being on my squad. Also, the ability to just kind of tap that scan ability is pretty great. Then I get all the intel I need to go find people. So I'll stick with a Loba, Wraith, and Bloodhound squad. Our next question comes from Ruthik, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Are you going to do more streaming? Of course. I stream on Twitch, guys, almost daily at 8 p.m. Eastern. I would love if you stopped by the Twitch channel. Of course, it's TimProVision. And we are going to do more YouTube streams. I'm trying to make them once a week so they feel a little bit more special. But I do stream on Twitch almost daily, so I would love if you gave me a follow over there. Link is, of course, down in the description below. Our next question comes from Silver Jaffa. How do you escape 2v3 or 1v3 situations if you are surrounded with no escape abilities like Octane or Wraith? This is a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. If you get surrounded and you're in a 1-on-3 or a 2-on-3, especially a 1-on-3 though, you probably aren't gonna get out of there alive. But a lot of this does come down to your positioning. Good positioning will get you an advantage in fights, and the biggest thing to get out of your situation if you have no movement escape abilities is you need to create pressure. You need to knock one of the enemies. You need to crack them to the point where they need to stop because they are absolutely lit. So that's the big thing, positioning and create pressure. I know that's hard because there's 3 of them and 1 of you, but also having good movement capabilities is another good thing. If you can bunny hop your way out of a situation, if you can slide jump, if you can wall jump, all those little movement techniques do add up, and you should have all of those movement techniques in your arsenal. So keep all of that in mind. Positioning, apply pressure, and have the arsenal of movement techniques. Our next question comes from Villain. Who do you main? And also shout would be great because I'm gonna start my own Apex content because of you. Villain, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm glad I'm an inspiration to you. And I main Wraith at the moment, but I do love picking up Pathfinder and Bloodhound. Our next YouTube question comes from Declan McGuire, and he says, can you play on World's Edge Season 7, and what is your favorite map? I'm not quite sure about the first part of your question. World's Edge is just disabled right now, but what is your favorite map? For me, I think it's honestly probably still Kings Canyon. It's probably a little bit of a nostalgia in there. Second for that would be Olympus, and third would be World's Edge, and that's for pubs strictly. If we're talking ranked though, I'm gonna be going World's Edge, Olympus, and then Kings Canyon. I think World's Edge is the better ranked map. I don't know why, it just seems to flow better. Maybe it's because of the different buildings and the ways things are laid out. I don't know, but that is my map ranking. Our next comment comes from, and I apologize, I'm gonna botch your name a little bit, Huzafa Sabah, maybe? And they say, what's the best thing you like about Apex Legends? For me, it's hands down, it is the movement and the gunplay. The movement in Apex Legends feels so good, it feels so natural, and I absolutely love it. I love the Titanfall movement, and this is right in line with that for me. And if I had to add with that, I do think the guns are really good. They feel really good to shoot for some reason. Overall, those 2 things, I think are one of the most important things when it comes to a shooter, and that's why I think I am playing Apex as much as I am. And they also asked, is YouTube your full-time career? And it is not. YouTube is just honestly a hobby I do. I do have a kind of 9-to-5 job, whatever you want to call it, that I do. And I do YouTube outside of that. I wish it was my full-time career, maybe someday, but for now, I'm just enjoying it as I got it. Our next question comes from Rishi Mira. I hope I pronounced that right. What's your age? I am 29 years old. Kind of can't believe it sometimes. I still feel like I'm 18 or 21 years old. I'm going to be 30 here in under a month. My birthday is in February, so I'm pretty excited for that. Pretty nervous at the same time. I don't know why. It feels weird. But what can you do? You can't do anything about time. Next question comes from Gethin Garwood. I hope I pronounced that right. Views on Loba and views on the Wraith nerf. For me, I kind of expressed my interest in Loba earlier, but I don't really like playing Loba. I do love running Loba though. And views on the Wraith nerf, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. If you're talking about the Q ability, I think it's fine. I think the Q in the past was just kind of, oh crap, I need to use this to get out of this kind of thing. And now the Q is more of a tactical move. I hope that's what you're meaning with your questions, and I hope I answered it. Our next question comes from Blurred Stone 2. Which is your favorite season and why? This is a tough one for me. Obviously, I really enjoyed the game when it first came out. It really got its hook on me, and that is when I played it the most, I would say. But if I had to pick a season where I was most excited for, it's probably going to be the season where World's Edge came out. I think that was season 3. I think that was also Crypto when it dropped. We just had a lot of new stuff back then. We had a map. We had a new legend. It was a lot of excitement, a lot of changes. I think that was a good time for Apex. I think that was one of the better seasons. If I had to pick a second to that, I think Season 7 right now, it's weird to be saying it, but I think Season 7 was also a wonderful launch. I think we've been feeling a little dry in Season 7. It might be because we played it so much, but I think Olympus is a fantastic map, and I think they did a great job with it. I can't wait to see what Season 8 has in store. And the developers have been saying Season 8, 9, and 10 maybe have had crazy things coming our way. I honestly can't even imagine what they got coming, so I am really excited for that. We'll wait and see. And our final question, I just want to say again, thank you so much for the support lately. If you guys do like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Of course, we do stream on Twitch almost daily as well, so go over there and give me a follow if you do so, please. Which map is your favorite? For me, I think it's definitely King's Canyon. It might have a little nostalgia in there, but again, I think KC is just kind of the overall good pub map. It might not be too good for rank, but I do enjoy it. Who is your best legend stats wise, kill count and damage? I play a lot of different legends because I do make all these videos for you guys. So right now, I believe it is Wraith at about 2,500 kills and maybe just shy of 1,000,000 damage for Wraith. I live on the East Coast of the United States. What is your highest kill game? I think my highest kill game is 23, I want to say. I think I had 23 on my fiance's account. What's your highest damage game? My highest damage, I want to say, is like 3,900 maybe. And Samana also says, keep up the good work. And I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. So that is it. That is everything with the questions for the YouTube, Twitter, and community Discord Q&A. Maybe we will do this again in the future, maybe in a couple months, maybe sooner. If you like this video, again, hit that like button and show me that you like it. And drop a comment down below if you have any more questions, and I will try to answer them there. I again appreciate your support. I hope you have a wonderful day. And until next time, peace out.